So I'm presenting the 2021 President's Report. So that you know, I have problem material that will cover probably 30 to 45 minutes. So instead of reading it all or dealing with it all, I'm going to skim through it. The report itself in its entirety will be on our website. So I'll just give the highlights of the report and not the full report, because you guys will probably get bored by the time I'm done with the third page of it. So at our annual general, we have a meeting every year in January, which is what I call the Go Forward meeting. And this year we looked at enhancing our communications endeavors, redefining board member roles. And we found out that Sarah was leaving and Heather, we already knew she wanted to leave. We also decided we're going to do more guided visits in the Weaselhead. So this is a meeting that's offered to everybody. Anybody that wants to can have an impact on this meeting. And if they so, just email me at president@theweaselhead.com. And at the next meeting in January, we'll accommodate people that want to join in. COVID has had an impact on us. Our financials were slightly impacted this year. We have a bit of a negative side on our financials, but with vaccinations and adherence to masking regulations, we're able to start our classes in this fall. And also, so we did quite a few visits in the Weaselhead. I would like to welcome Maureen Lushinger as our new executive director, and Nicole Krachik as our new treasurer. And I will take this moment to heavily and very, very honored to have to say thanks to Sarah Neville, Heather Shepard, and Rosemary Foley that have left us because, well, in the case of Sarah, she decided it's time to retire, and Heather too, and same with Rosemary. You all have left an indelible contribution to the society, and we are in your debt. Thank you for the long hours of service and for volunteering. Our education program has resumed. We've had 30 schools and groups booked this fall. And we took a total of 1,500 students and teachers and parent volunteers into the Weaselhead. And currently we have 16 schools booked for the summer and spring. The invasive plant program has been moving on too, and this year big onus was on the knapweed, which is a recurring scourge in the Weaselhead, but there's been work on quite a few of the other ones too. Wildlife. We've had an interesting year for wildlife. We've had a park closure in October 2021 due to a very rare visit by a grizzly and her cub. This is not the particular animal. This one, I took a picture of this guy in Peter Lougheed Provincial Park. But there is a constant evidence of black bears in the park, and also rare sightings of cougar tracks, and a picture taken by one of these cameras of a cougar a few years ago. This is in 2014, that was in the Weaselhead. So be careful, be aware that these predators can be around in the Weaselhead. Be also aware that large herbivores, moose and deer, can also be dangerous. We've had a very sad event happening. Excessive interactions with birders wanting a perfect photo has led to in all probability, to the death of a saw-whet owl in the Weaselhead in the spring this year. You know, this is where, at that point it was harassment. There was a mob of people kicking around. I've heard reports it was mob scene, because these are pretty rare and they were spotted and people put the locations. Be very careful when you're dealing with wildlife. The impact is quite negative if you're not careful. We have, sorry, I've moved forward. We have seen raccoons in the Weaselhead by the wildlife cameras. And also we have done some tree wiring to protect the selected trees from overactive beavers near the beaver pond. They were deforesting the whole area around the beaver pond. So the city has decided that some trees had to be wired so they couldn't chop them down. And I was actually on one of those events, and it's quite interesting activity to do. As you know, they've worked on the dam. They've modernized the dam. It's got new sluice gates, and now they've decided that in the summer times, we're going to have higher waters in the reservoir. That has a very negative impact on the Weaselhead. The water is up to 1 or 2 meters higher than it used to be. We've had flooded paths. The boardwalk next to the Oxbow, near the Red Bridge on the Oxbow has been floating and it's not there anymore. The city has promised to repair some of this work, but at the same time, all around the reservoir, there's been quite a bit of erosion because the water levels are above the riprap that they've installed 10 years ago to protect the shores, especially in Bayview. So the lower trail may be impacted by some of the high water. So we'll definitely be consulting with the city to deal with this problem. It has also a very negative impact on riparian vegetation and on birds that nest near the edge of the water. We've also had another spill, and this is images from the Hemera report. It was contracted by KGL because of there was a complaint. The city lodged a complaint, and the full report was done. And these are the pictures from the report. This is where the spill occurred from this little pond here. It went into the Weaselhead. So this is some of the report, and in detail, they're talking here about doing some redesigning of the berms around the holding pond and reestablishing the vegetation and fixing this problem that happened in the stream here. The impact, Southwest impact, the SWCCR impact report. We're continuing to collect data from the Weaselhead over a 7-year study into the impact of the ring road. The reports from 2016 to 2020 are available on our website, and this report for 2021 will be posted by early 22. In 2021, a major spill occurred that I've talked about, and the city had, also fencing has started. Hopefully the Weaselhead will be done before freeze up and will be adequate. There are questions whether or not they'll be adequate. There was a bit of bright news. Due to the spills, the beaver pond, all of the caddisflies were eradicated for quite a while. They were none to be found. And this fall, this is good news. One was spotted, one was captured, and caddisflies are very sensitive to environmental disturbances. They disappear quite easily. They're what we call a control species. And to find one means that the health of the beaver pond is returning. It's been a great year for citizen science. I have to thank Matt for this. I won't go into all of the details of what's here. That's also in the report. But we had the Christmas bird count. We sponsored the annual City Nature Challenge. Our naturalist projects to monitor biodiversity through the year has received additional 2,400 observations and 159 people visiting the park. Calgary birders took to the parks this year, and a lot of data was collected. We did a May plant count with Nature Alberta, and we had some outings for National Moth Week and collected a bunch of data. And now we're starting up with the Creek Watch, which is conducting water testing in the Elbow River. We have 7 weeks of data. We would have had more if it weren't for the pandemic. And this will actually be added to our historical database. And I thank everybody that's contributed. So this is the website for the Creek Watch. This is where anybody could join and help us out with this. This is where volunteer citizen science for everybody is available. So as we said at the Go Forward meeting, we're going to do a lot of more outings, and this is a listing of the outings. Again, that's in the report. I won't go through listing all of these. You can read for yourselves. And a big thank you for the people that did the work at the annual river cleanup. It was quite a fun thing, and quite a bit of garbage was found this year, a bit more than last year. The casino, we're finally we'll be able to replenish some of our coffers. The casino is one of our main sources of income. This is where your volunteer time will have a great impact on the success of the society. This year is a pure casino in the Northeast, just off of Barlow Trail and on Meridian Road. The sign up widget will be on a website within a few days. I encourage you all to join in.